All right, all right. Okay, welcome guys to our episode 30. We have celebrities here today from Tridel. Let's
Thank you,
introduce
thank you.
Winson and Chilli to have Tridel to talk about a little bit of history, about past, present, future, about the industry. Looking really forward to
Welcome on.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you. The honor
So,
is ours.
as a little bit of an intro, for some of the viewers, viewers and listeners, that may not know who Tridel is, but at this point, I'm sure most people know who Tridel is. But tell us a little bit about Tridel. When did you guys start? What do you guys kind of focus on? And
even before Tridel, maybe just talk about themselves.
Yeah, talk about how you got in the industry.
absolutely.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, talk a little
ahead.
bit about yourselves.
For me, it's simple. I'm Winson Chan. I'm the Vice President of Sales Development for Tridel.
Mm-hmm.
And my resume is pretty simple, and that's my first job. And hopefully my last. I've been working for Tridel for the past almost 30 years. This year is my 30 years anniversary, I guess, 1994. This is when I joined Tridel.
Sure.
And Tridel, for those of you who do not know, Tridel it's a integrated real estate group of company. We're not just a developer, we're also a builder as well. And we do our own sales and marketing. And most importantly, after the building finish, and we have a team manage it that's under Dell Property Management, and we also facilitate our own building, as I said, under the brand name Delterra. After you purchase a condo, you would like someone to do rental management. We have Dell Rental, and we also have executive accommodation under Dell Suites as well too. And we also venture into senior. Luxury senior citizen space under Dell Manor. So it's a fully integrated real estate group. Started back in 1934. So this year we're going to celebrate 90 years.
Oh, wow.
90
Wow.
90 years.
We only built 90,000 homes.
Just 90,000.
Just 90,000.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah. What about Chilli? And Chilli, yeah. How about you? How did
about
you
me?
get started?
Oh, of course. Okay, I'm after Winson.
Okay.
Okay, this year will be my 27th year with
Oh,
Tridel.
wow. Okay.
So I joined the company in 1997.
So 3 years later.
Yeah, 3 years later. So I'm a bit younger than him. And this is not my first job. Okay, I immigrated from Hong Kong to here about 34 years ago. I'm always in sales and marketing when I was in Hong Kong. More like the public relationship and advertising side. Okay, so that's why since day one I joined Tridel. On the side, of course, I'm a salesperson on the floor, but on the side, okay, I help quite a bit of how to the branding and also okay helping with the advertising items of Tridel projects. And I'm now one of the sales manager and the executive assistant of my boss, okay, which is Winson Chan and Professor Chan.
So we have veterans here in the industry today. So
Yeah.
we're very honored to have you both here. What does actually Tridel stand for? Why is it Tridel?
Okay, very good question. Like Tri is actually dissected the name. Tri is three. It's actually started from Jack Del Soto, the Del Soto family. So I'm honored and privileged to work with this Italian immigrated family from Italy. And to a point that I'm now an honorary Italian. I think I have more pasta than some, I guess. Under Jack Del Soto, so they have three sons. So three is Tri, the three brothers.
Okay.
Angelo, Alfio, and Leo, and plus the Footman family as well too. So fast forward to now, and it become a Canada leaders in condominium living, and the company really focus on luxurious high-rise living. So that's a totally different lifestyle that we built, and you see a lot of logo going around. Relax as a Tridel, and then also Tridel also represent something different in the consumer sides too. When they go in and you know as a Remix agent go to check out MLS too. Sometimes they just basically identify this as a Tridel building. That must mean something to it too. And I think fast forward to now, through the innovation. Try to be staying as a leader too. We always challenge ourselves to to take our luxurious condominium living to the next level. So in terms of the technology, the innovation, the design aspect of it too, I think we earn a name in the industry. So that's also represent the quality and commitment and innovation that we build into the industry. And for the past 30 years, and I witnessed it too. Like not many, most of the developers excited to show you all the newest one. And I also excited to show you some of our creation in the past. Like say, for instance, some of like the first building that I actually start the sales and marketing for Tridel is Palace Gate. Unfortunately, some of you have not.
Oh, Bayview.
Yes.
Yes.
Some
Vivian Finch.
I'm sure
So that
in-
means you were born.
Oh
You
yeah,
were born at
I
that
was kind
time.
of, I think kind of expected.
I love that building.
This young urban professional may not even born yet. So, but then I challenge you or your audience, your viewer, to go in and see some of the creation like 30 years ago. And you go in, you will still say wow. And I think that's the pinnacle of a legacy of a builder, which I'm very proud of. And something that like you may say, okay, how come you work for the same company for the 30 years? And if you work for the best, and it's very difficult to go to work for the second best. And then some peace of mind for me and also for you later on your audience itself. So rest assured that when we present you a brochure, you would sure that the building will be now we have to worry about the building actually start the construction. That's number one. After construction, the building finish, you walk in, you would still say wow, and it would be identical to what we presented you at first. And that's something that I'm sure that you need to know as well too. And then we are honored and privileged to be here because I think I passed the first test, because I'm sure this team won't bring you any random developer that's like promoting the podcast and all that too. There's a reason for you to promote us, right? So I think those are the reasons that we wanted not just yourself as a real estate professional to understand, but also the audience and consumer. Why Tridel? Why they're in the business for 90 years and 90,000 home built.
Absolutely.
Now, while we are talking about history, okay, if you guys are aware, for Scarborough area, I dare to tell you, half of the condominium buildings in the whole Scarborough area were actually built by Tridel. Half, okay,
Wow.
half of it. And okay, very well known. Okay, if you go to Kennedy and Shepherd, okay, the Bonus Avenue.
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah, definitely.
138, 168, 228.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and all those two-level casitas townhomes.
Totally.
Okay, so that used to be a very popular accommodation destination for all the newcomers at that time. Okay, when I was immigrated into this Canada, Toronto. Okay, that is being very well known as the most luxurious living. Okay, in the
Right.
Scarborough area. And also lately, okay, we're talking about the past 5 to 8 years. Okay, the very famous Village Green Square.
Of course, yeah.
Yep.
Of
Okay.
Kennedy and 401s.
Yeah, the Metro Gate.
Right.
Metro Gates community consists of seven high-rise luxury condominium buildings together with the almost 2 acre or 1.5 acre, okay, the public park in the middle. And that becomes, okay, a very new and popular destination for all the newcomers, okay, who wanted to land at Scarborough area. And that is what we're proud of.
Wow,
No,
there's so much
absolutely.
heritage and legacy.
Was a huge influence on the Toronto just landscape in general. Is that something that you guys generally focus on? Or are you guys generally focused on the GTA, or do you guys kind of venture out of the GTA? But the main focus has been like the Toronto Scarborough area, and like kind of where do you guys focus on now?
Yeah, in general, we are for sure focus on the Greater Toronto area, because like we are one of the city builder. We hope be able to part of transform Toronto into a major metropolitan city. We are very close. We're not there yet. So there is still a lot of opportunity. We do believe a major metropolitan city, you also have a great opportunity for us to develop high density, luxurious building that literally you'll be able to work, play, live in the same neighborhood. And as Chilli alluded to, Tridel has also been forefront in creating a lot of transformative community across the GTA too. Even some of the area which is kind of unassuming before too, once you see a Tridel community there too, that will be whole transformation. So that has been the idea. And then interestingly, have been building for the past like 90 years, and they still have a lot of opportunity. And if you actually take a look at the landmass of Canada compared to the United States, we arguably we have a lot more landmass
Yeah.
and population and all that too. So there's still a lot of opportunity for us to kind of be part of the city builder.
So some of the, I guess, architecture and you draw from international talents and designers.
Yeah,
'Cause I see-
actually, that's a good question because I was just thinking too. Is like, what's the vision when Tridel picks up a piece of land, right, and they'd want to develop it? What's the vision of how you're going to develop that land, and how do you focus your designs and everything else?
I mean, how would it integrate with our current, I guess, collection in real estate and architecture? It's transformative, but in a way you want to, also integrate the community, right?
Yeah, Tridel is a team of big group of professionals that be able to help us going to this particular goal. And being in Toronto too, through various city planning and certain requirement too, it kind of forced the developer to being innovative and also being the leader too. If you in a leader in a certain industry, how do you challenge yourself to go into the next round too? So yes, we do spend a lot of time and effort to be able to how this particular building and community represent the Tridel brand, and this is what we wanted to see. Most importantly, the consumer and the city appreciate. So throughout the past years, you already start to see we incorporate a lot of, when you are telling about architect, we have architect all the way from Copenhagen, New York, and there is architectural competition that be able to challenge ourselves to be able to create a timeless community in the area. So I think that part, it's also make part of my job fun because you never get bored. For the past 30 years, every day you see something new, and you also excited to be part of the city builder. You're part of an integral part to transform and shape this metropolitan city in Canada.
Is there a difference between suburb and downtown architecture and layouts in terms of 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, etc.?
That's a great question. Like obviously, different neighborhood have different characteristics. So we 100% need to work with the city planner to get our plan to be able to kind of to be able to shape the certain neighborhood too. Usually in downtown, it's a little bit more dense because of the build form, and then also in terms of architectural inspiration and all that, you also need to challenge yourself to go to kind of the next level to create a landmark. Like say, for instance, 10 York had an example. Like we pick up any postcard, you definitely see not only CN Tower but 10 York too. So that would be part of architecture. And then in terms of the waterfront, we incorporate the sign from Miami or Copenhagen and come into. Sometimes when you roam around downtown waterfront, you kind of see, oh, it's kind of similar to what I see in the convenience in New York and Miami and whatnot. So I think that would every area have a different characteristic, and that's so good about Toronto, because Toronto you be able to identify certain different location have a certain different characteristic. Now, very similar to New York, we're not there yet, but if you way back when you go to New York, you only go to Midtown, you go to Central Park, and that's about it. But fast forward to now, I'm sure that you know more than I do. When you go to New York, where do you roam around? Oh, I go to Hudson Yard, I go to Chelsea, and I go to Tribeca and all that too. And I think we started to kind of going into this type of metropolitan way that every area have the unique characteristic around the GTA. So that's obviously tons of opportunity, and there's a lot of future creation you're going to see in the future.
Yeah, and I think I can do a little bit of inputs in this point for my more than 2 decades involvement. I worked together with Winson with various projects of Tridel. Now, Tridel really play a quite important role, in helping Toronto become a metropolitan city. And this is again, this is one of our mission. Is we would like to be the city builder. One of the city builders to help Torontonians to climb up to the top of the world. And having said that, okay, for example, okay, Winson mentioned about the Bayside community, okay, the real waterfront community, our Bayside. Okay, we do have the Aqua series, Aqua Lina, Aqua Vista, Aqua Bella, and everybody is really waiting for our Aqua Luna to be ready for occupancy, right? And whenever you drove, okay, on the highway, you can see the iconic, okay, Aqua Luna is really rising from the water. Now, okay, it involves a lot of work behind. And we are actually, okay, one of the partners, okay, to work with Waterfront Toronto and also City of Toronto in order to make that happen. And because that is our real waterfront, lakefront properties, so we have, okay, to make it good, right? So that's why at the very beginning, even though every single Accra CVS, okay, building the form or the architecture, okay, we try a lot, okay, to make it more interesting and also more alarming. So that's why we involve international competition, okay, for all the architects, okay, from the different part of the world. And the most famous one, okay, for example, we are waiting for our Aqua Luna to raise up, and that is actually, okay, done by the very famous Copenhagen architectural firm, okay, 3XN and Tecton.
Architectonica.
Okay, and another one, okay, Winson talked about 10 York. Okay,
Yeah.
10 York is actually the baby of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Okay, we
yeah.
launched 10 York together.
Wow.
And the land, okay, the piece of land, okay, where 10 York is sitting on right now is actually owned by the City of Toronto.
Okay.
So that
Oh.
is the first project, okay, that the government is picking up a private builder, okay, to have a joint venture.
That building is one of the
yeah.
first buildings I've seen that's all tech. It's all
Oh,
technology.
yeah.
It's really
And
nice.
That's something
There's-
that has been transformative to Chilli's point too. Like if you remember that triangular place, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that before
Yes.
10 York, people don't want to visit that
Yeah.
because if your car was towed in downtown Toronto on Bloor Street and whatnot too, this is actually where you pick up your car. So that was actually a vehicle in prime location.
Right.
So there was an article before from local media where saying that it was really like an area of dirt and some form too. But we'll see how Tridel actually transform it into gold, and literally we did. It is one of the most challenging location to ever create a condominium there too. You only have two highway flying across, and then you also have Garden Expressway flying across, very very tight site. And we're also proud to be able to do that too. And to your mentioning about the technology, that's something that how we also want to differentiate ourselves, because condominium is not just like the architecture. Now that's important, don't get me wrong, because it's one of the most important part too, because your the attraction of the building, it's actually started from the architecture. That's actually the first impression you see, not in the lobby, not in the suite. So I think you have to create an architecture inspired a building that you are kind of proud of. And then since you build so many buildings, how do you differentiate the other building to things that we kind of find out, and obviously feedback from the 90,000 purchases that we do, it's technology. One of the first and foremost is when you go into a typical building in downtown too, they build a beautiful lobby, amazing welcoming concierge, but the problem is you don't see that. What you see is Amazon parcel. You don't see that.
Amazon parcels.
Right? Like you don't see the concierge, and
That's-
we hear a voice and
that's-
someone try to greet you and welcome you. Where is it? Oh, behind the puzzle.
Yeah.
Coming through that. So,
Yeah.
we actually seen that. Like not that we did it the first time. We still have to manage the problem too. So through the years, through 300 Front Street, through the other building too, I think wow, it's actually one of the challenge, right? Especially after COVID, everybody order Amazon too. Your concierge actually manage a lot of this. It's a postman. So like we formulate a solution in such a way that we have a smart parcel system. So basically, if you Amazon or delivery coming into, you go into the front Tridel Connect panel, and then you'll be able to actually send your barcode of your the Amazon delivery go to the smart locker, scan the barcode, put your items there too, and then you also receive a barcode when you get home. So you go to that smart locker, scan it, boom, then you'll be able to retrieve your item. Everything is a camera, a capture in terms of security, and then also you get instant notification that's the parcel deliver. For that too. So I think that's part of the innovation we started with 10 York. We call it Tridel Connect. Digital entry at 10 York. At the time, we don't have COVID. We don't really anticipate it. The touch would be a challenge. But interestingly, we also transformed that building into almost like a touchless system that you wave and open, and then totally digital entry. You use your phone to get in and out of the suites.
Definitely before its time, for sure. Like it's innovative, it's new, and even till today, it still stands the test of time. It's not outdated and whatnot. So kind of going on to the next, well, we've kind of like discussed it a little bit already, but can you tell us a little bit like what differentiates Tridel from all the other builders out there? What makes you guys unique? We've already talked about a little bit about the building designs and whatnot. Now, when you guys think of these building designs, obviously you guys are thinking more into the futures, kind of what we were just talking about. Guide us through a little bit about what makes you guys different from all the other competition.
First and foremost is actually the trust and the history part, which we kind of alluded already.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important. That's give us ample opportunity to kind of to fast forward in terms of the innovation and all that too. Innovation, it's a big part of it too.
Right.
We want to make sure that all building would stand the test of time, as you alluded
For
to.
sure.
And also, most importantly, is the lifestyle. And we want the customer to come into a Tridel location and real estate position included, relax, it is a Tridel. So we would put in the time and effort to kind of put it to it too. Now, the other big part that we really, really focus on is green. So as you probably seen or heard, sometimes that you associate Tridel as one of like the pinnacle of Green Build of the Year.
Right.
And then the Builder Association have Green Build of the Year about 16 times. We won 14 times of it.
Right.
And that's very important because like being a developer, you also need to be responsible with the environment as well too. So that's something that we started this endeavor a long time ago, and then we still continue to a point that in terms of the green building, not only put innovation and technology to it too. One of the newest building later on, you're going to see it in the Kingsway area, 3200 Blue Street.
Okay.
That will be the first building that is fully electrified. So meaning that you won't have
EV building.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you won't have gas burner and boilers and all that too. Arguably, like the next question, must cost a lot, and then we won't go into details yet. And later on, obviously, we'll come back and tell you about the technology behind it. And arguably, it's actually a lot more energy efficient compared to the other form of building per se. Like one of the technology I've just started to learn a little bit more about it. It's like hot water heater. Like hot water heater right now, the way that we provide hot water is not as efficient because like you just keep on boiling the water cold and then the entire tank you need to do. So we kind of use like a thermos to use a minimum energy to heat the water and keep the water in a certain temperature. So the whole process is a lot more energy efficient.
That sounds like more Asia. It's very common in Asia.
Correct.
You know what? When you're talking about the
On
hot
demand.
water thermos, is it like one of those ones where you push a button and there's hot water? And so it's like those
On demand.
Yeah, the hot water on demand. Like they boil it, but it takes a lot less energy to keep it
Correct.
at that temperature.
So we
Okay.
would also
Okay.
have a demonstration later on at our sales presentation later on
That's
too.
actually really
But
cool.
obviously we still need to work through this too. So that's to going to do a comment earlier. It's
Yeah.
like how do we kind of differentiate ourselves? And it's not easy. Like we keep on needed to challenge ourselves. Now, not just in the building part, and even the sales team that myself and Chilli was part of, and we also needed to make sure that we kind of advance or progress into the new era.
what do you guys generally think, like for the buildings itself? Like whenever we see like new building innovations, I don't know about you guys, but generally I see like Tridel, they have these new stuff. Like I've never heard of these new technologies in any other buildings from any other builder. First I've heard of it. Like I don't know.
Whenever I show a Tridel building, there's always a lot of confidence, and there's always a lot of comfort that what this is going to be a good building, right? And generally
It
people
gives you a
always feel the
peace of
same way.
mind.
Exactly.
Yes. It
does.
Because there's so many buildings now that we visit that, flood, that has all these different problems or bad finishings or, just bad reputation in general. But at a Tridel building, you generally don't get that sense when you walk through a Tridel building, right? So it's, credit to Tridel, of course, right? And I guess
Or
it
if
goes
I
to-
can answer your question in another way. Okay, so now we are all human beings. Okay, construction, customer care, property management, realtors. Okay, I don't think that people will never make many mistakes.
Mhm.
Okay, so every single of us, will make mistakes at a certain point of time. Okay, but what we mean by relax, this is Tridel, a peace of mind is, whenever we get into trouble or whenever any residents has any deficiencies or any concerns, we are there, to respond and to help. Okay, at least, if there's something goes wrong, we will be there, to repair it or to help people. So that is what we call a peace of mind.
Mhm.
All right.
And to
And
add-
that is
add-
actually why, we earn your trust, for the past so many decades.
And to Chili's point too, like all the challenges that we face actually can transform into the future innovation in the future. And I think not that we're excited to see the challenge, differency and whatnot too, but then I think one thing differentiate our team from the others is when we see a certain challenge to that become an opportunity that we be able to how we perfect in the future. Like I talk about the parcel management challenge. Like it was our challenge.
Right.
Like it's not all the building from start is have that too. So with that challenge, we think about solution, innovation, and then here comes another building. And the other one too, as you alluded to before, when you show a Tridel building, like when we allowed you to actually go in to the building when the building is still under construction, we call it the Tridel ready. So that's something totally differentiate us from the other developer. You go in, you still see a construction happening, whatnot too.
Right.
For Tridel, it won't happen. Like you go in, the lobby is beautifully finished, concierge in place. Now, not all the amenities fully open, but the necessary one, everything is there too. So that's be able to demonstrate it. And it's also for you, your customer have the peace of mind so that you go in to show a newly finished Tridel building and you have a certain peace of mind rather
Right.
than seeing construction throughout.
So I hear international architects, innovation, and emphasis on green building. Comes to mind money. So it sounds like it costs a lot of money. Now, do any of these things also save your buyers money when they buy into a Tridel building?
Yeah, let's jump into pricing.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And
Yes.
sometimes that we don't just focus on pricing. I think what we really wanted to, you as a real estate professional, and the consumer is to understand. That's actually my job and Chili's job is to demonstrate that value. Everything is a cost. And then as long as we be able to demonstrate the value to you, then you would need it. Like say, for instance, the Tridel Connect technology, license-free recognition technology, touchless open, the parcel management system. Would you like a building without that? Usually the answer is no, right? So then if we be able to create it, the value, okay, this is a Tridel true price, true value, and then all of a sudden pricing would not really be an issue. Now, having said that, we also need to find a balance. Toronto as an industry is actually very good. Like to a certain point, some of the green feature too, under the new Toronto Green Standard 4, you have no choice but to do it. Like you cannot just opt out. Because every builder has to do it, and I think like obviously Tridel is a little bit more, do it a little bit more earlier. So for us, the adaptability it's more. And would it actually translate into money saving? Absolutely. Like say, in terms of we talk about the energy usage and the ease of the convenience of all the technology that we push it to, that will transform into a value moving forward. And a lot of people misunderstood, like developer make a lot of money. No, like it's actually a cost approach. A cost is X amount, add in a reasonable amount of profit. This is actually how we build. And the whole system here is focused on the value that we be able to deliver and demonstrate that the consumer would have positive feedback towards this.
So the consumer, in terms of the target market, they actually appreciate
Yes.
a lot of the value adds that they see as the leading forefront. And whereas many builders, they build something and hope to find the right target market, but you already have a focused audience.
Yeah, and then I think it's that we have a little bit unfair advantage per se, because we do build so many homes. As I said, like those are the challenge turns into opportunity for innovation, and then also that would also turns into create value for a consumer, what they're actually looking for. So I think that's something that we've been quite successful in demonstrating that. Something behind the scene, like sometimes the consumer may not know how to ask. Like say, a lot of people comparing, okay, how about resale condominium compared to new condominium? Why I have to buy a new condominium? Like a lot of behind the scenes work you don't know. Like think the most important utility, what is it's not arguably not cable or telephone and whatnot too. It's actually your internet. Okay, so internet, we make sure to identify, work with different provider to provide a very important backbone for internet so that the smart system would work, and most importantly, your own connectivity. So those are the things that it's important. We also go above and beyond and put repeater for even cell phone signals and all that to do it too. So those are the things that under the new building, we'd be able to kind of deliver on that.
Yeah, that's right. Like most of the buildings on a high level, I find, you get very little reception.
Reception sucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you mention repeater, it's like, oh yeah, when you're on a very high floor on the Tridel building, it's a little different.
Yeah. So like obviously technology will move on as it's like the 5G plus or something that the concrete may not have the same challenge of the current one, but right now, like concrete and steels, it's actually one of the most problem for cell phone reception and all that too. So to a certain point that we kind of address that as well.
But because you have so many buildings, you have economy of scale. Like when you're ordering technology, when you have implementing, I think I see that as value.
And also practice makes perfect, right? Another example that I can quote, earlier, you were talking about, whether we only build in the downtown core or suburban. For the past 5 to 8 years, we see quite a lot of newer condominium projects, in the topical area, all right? But back in more than 20 years, when I first joined Tridel, we already we build up a lot of points or places at Etopical. If you guys know the Kipling subway station, the Kipling subway station, about 20 years ago, we've already there, and we have like 5 to 7 condominium buildings over there, around the Kipling subway station. And back in that, I think it's maybe 17 years ago, the Kipling, the Novo and Park Novo building, Tridel building, when you take occupancy, the whole building is already having all individual metered utilities features. So your hot water, your heat, your aircon, the hydro, everything is already separately metered. If you move in yourself, or your tenant move in, they pay for their own consumption inside the suite, and they have maximum control, to the utility bills that they are facing monthly, right? So this is what we call environmentally friendly, And even though, okay, we have quite a bit of objections at that time. Oh, wow, your maintenance fee is not included that. How come all the other buildings are including? So now, 15 years later, okay, this is exactly, okay, what the whole, okay, Toronto is going for. And so when the other, okay, our other counterparts or builders, okay, they have to catch up, we're already there. So that is another thing that instead of adding the cost, is actually we are kind of saving, okay, with all the newer buildings right now, because we already have that technologies.
I wanted to ask a quick question on sales. So how important are the realtors that work with your inside sales staff during a pre-construction a launch? Like how important is it, for the realtors to work with your internal staff and inside sales reps for the success of your launches?
Definitely. Okay. We love you guys, okay, to bring your clients. Now, especially, okay, what I want to say is we are all licensed realtors. Okay. So we do our due diligence. Okay. You know your client and I know my vendor, right? Okay. So without your help, okay, you let me know, okay, what is your clients looking for? What are actually their wish list? It's much more difficult for me, okay, to match my product to your client's wish list, especially with Tridel. Anytime you log on to Tridel.com, okay, we have more than 20 different projects actively on our plate at a different stage of development. Okay, some of them are pre-construction, okay, like a Queen Church and 6080 Young, and some of them are under construction and well under construction, like a Royal Bayview and other building that people will be expecting occupancy in 1 to 2 years. And some of them are actually, they already registered, and we still have some standing inventory that your clients can actually move into a brand new Tridel building immediately. Okay, with all those, okay, wide range of products, okay, without your guidance or without your cooperation with us, it will take a much longer, okay, selling process. So when you know your client and you're looking for the best benefit of your clients, okay, you bring them into my sales office, okay, talking to my team, and the real communications, okay, and looking for the best interests of your client, that makes our job much easier.
Ours too, yeah. It's a partnership,
Yes.
though. It really is a partnership.
is,
It's an
it
extension
is.
of your sales team. You make us look good as well in front of the client when we're selling a good product, right? So
Yeah.
So
Appreciate
Chilli,
that,
really
yeah.
quickly. If you were to say in terms of the sales, where do your buyers come from? Like the realtor community, repeat buyers, investors. What's the kind
International,
of
yeah,
international? What's kind of like the pie?
Yeah, like what do you guys see? Like what do you guys experience? Like
where are the buyers coming from, essentially? Where are your buyers coming from?
Yeah, the good news is really in Toronto. It was a major metropolitan city, 7 million people too. So immigration, it's key. So there is a lot of people from different ethnic group coming from all over the world to Toronto. So we have a really diverse audience and potential purchaser coming to us too. Who are the people coming into lately? For sure, is the bank of mom and dad. A lot of people focus on interest rate and inflation. I think, I'm Asian. I can comment on that too. Like, I think Asian have a very good way to deal with inflation. And since when I was a child, my dad and mom always told me that the most important part is real estate, because that's actually help us to be able to fight against inflation, to protect the value. And then what is the worst scenario of owning a piece of real estate? As you be able to lease it out, or you be able to use it yourself, not just for yourself, but for your future generation.
Yeah, definitely.
So we see a lot of bang on mom and dad lately helping out to it too. They have great equity because they know the perfect time to purchase real estate. Do you know when is the perfect time to purchase real estate?
Yesterday.
Exactly. So which they all did. So they accumulate good equity now that they be able to help out the son and daughter coming in too. The other one for sure, it's what we refer to like a smart sizing. Like, yes, everybody love to live in a 5,000 square feet home, but when they get older too, stair is one of the biggest enemy. And then arguably, do you really need 5,000 square feet? If you actually do a heat map, actually there's a study from in the state, one of the university actually create a heat map of what you actually use in your home. So when you go home, what do you do? Like you go to your,
it's
your
kitchen,
your
really,
kitchen, right?
Yeah,
Like you go to the
kitchen,
kitchen
bedroom,
and
living
you want to
room.
see the games, and then you
The
you go-
washroom.
you go, the washroom.
It's not that much, to be honest. You don't need that much.
Yeah, so add up all the space that you use, you're actually using maybe 700 or 800 square feet.
Yeah.
So that's it's actually how we're building. Like so,
I
you
see.
basically living in a home, and you now moving from home into a condominium. You're now living a mansion in the sky. Plus all the bells and whistles we just talked about today, like all the technology, innovation, and all that too. Obviously, in your private home, you won't have a license plate recognition technology or
Right.
someone manage your parcel and whatnot
You
too.
bet.
And plus, you would also have a lot of amenities as well too. Yes, you live in 700 or 800 square feet home. Don't forget, Tridel always built like a resort hotel style
Yes,
community.
they've always got a great amenities.
Yeah, so you'll
Yeah,
be
the
able to entertain
extension
your,
of your home.
yeah, so all the party room, exercise room, and all that, that's part of it too. So we kind of call it a smart sizing. It's not downsizing from a home too. Arguably, you may have better life enjoyment or lifestyle after you move into Tridel Link. So like that's also is a big part of it too. And then also the last but not least is actually the one who actually needed to condominiums link to live close to work and school and whatnot too. So it's been ongoing for the past many years.
That's very interesting. So you're saying that moving from a house to a condo, you may end up getting more usable space than when you just lived in the house with party room and such.
More
Yeah.
efficient.
Yeah.
Often clients they say, oh, it's better for me to travel. I can close behind the door. Just forget it. Less maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then lately we'll also find it very interesting. I just learned a new term lately from a router as well. In the COVID, a lot of people kind of moved to like Muskoka. They still do and all that too. And then to a certain age, a certain lifestyle, they kind of go back and purchase an urban cottage. So in the weekend, then they would actually buy into a condo, go to the games and see the movie, enjoy fine dining, whatnot too. So that also been an interesting trend that we see. Like this market will be quite exciting.
Yeah. Or actually, it's a good segue about when we have like foreign buyers at bank, mom and dad, in terms of taxation and how does that run into
Yes.
the purchase, like the
Yes.
decision?
Yeah, so I think I'll add to that as well. How has interest rates, inflation affected you as builders, and what are the major challenges and external factors that are affecting Tridel and also your buyers?
Yeah, so all the external factor, all this like we cannot predict, and then we cannot control it. And right now, inflation, interest rate affect us two way. Like so, we as a builder we have to manage the cost. So interest rate increase, inflation, and all that too. Cost, supply chain challenge that always become more challenging, especially after COVID as well. And then in terms of the consumer side, that for the inflation and interest rate is actually affecting the confidence. Do they want to buy? Absolutely. Right now, I'm sure that you guys are very busy. Like before, they want to see a downtown condo. It's okay. Let's come and see a downtown condo, and that's about it. Right now, they take you to go to like Barrie and then go to Niagara Falls and North York and come back to downtown.
Very true.
They still not
very
buy.
true.
But why would you need to know about like Pickering or Vaughan and buy a downtown condo? Like it's different. But so that's why like answer one of the questions we asked earlier. Why is the outside routers very important? Is you would help them navigate through the complexity of pre-construction,
Bring them
and
back.
then bring them back. So many choices too. Some of the purchaser honestly doesn't know what they're actually looking for.
Yeah.
So this is where
it's
you
interesting
come
you
into
say that
place.
because a lot of people do think that they know a lot
Yes.
about real estate now because so much information is available online. However, the value of a realtor is to really help them navigate through all the muddy waters, all the different things that they don't know, right? And helping them finalize on getting something that actually meets their needs.
Yes.
Right. So it's interesting, but yeah, a lot of people underestimate the value of the realtor. But
Yes.
thanks for bringing that up.
No, that's the utmost important because it's
thank you.
like you needed to work with a professional realtor, and then because you've seen a lot, like you're not just seeing Tridel building. Honestly, if you ask us, and I have to confess, the only building I see is Tridel, so I wouldn't give you any choice or diversification or
Good
why.
answer.
And then you need to help us justify why Tridel. Right. So I think, look, I kind of passed the test before I be able to go into this podcast. Right. So like that's important. It's you have a diverse experience that you be able to have to bring a consumer to the table. Now, in terms of a foreign buyer test, let me ask a question with a question. How many foreign buyer you deal with? You're a big team, very successful team. How many buyers you deal with for the past 2 years?
Foreign buyers?
Totally foreign. Like it's not like that doesn't count that I
Totally
look like a
foreign?
foreigner, but I'm actually Canadian. Right?
Maybe one out of 20.
One out
it's
of
very
lot-
rare now.
lot
Most are local, to be honest.
Yes.
Exactly.
you got
So
it.
like
You
some
got
of the times that like they look like foreigner, but they are Canadian, right?
Yeah.
So even one especially a comment about Remax as well too, and I've been to a lot of international conferences through some of your Remax counterpart. Oh, you know what? Guess what? Toronto closed for business, and they do not have foreign buyer. Wrong. There's only $1 billion of transaction from Canada to United States, and then to your point earlier,
Right.
and the folks that you see in the United States, it could be Canada. So short, long answer to your short question, it's like, no, it doesn't really affect us, and we by the sheer mass of 7 million people, the natural
There's enough
immediate-
demand locally,
Yeah, exactly.
domestically rather.
Yeah, and then also that, like the worker may need to buy, and then the immigrants, the potential immigrants coming in too. So that's a non-factor to
Okay,
us.
so we're pretty much hitting time now. But for the final, just pretty much final thoughts. What are kind of your predictions about the future? What are some of your plans for 2024? And I mean, in comparison to 2023, like, what do you guys feel like?
Where's the
Is
industry heading?
2024?
Where's
Yeah.
the industry heading?
I think going back to normal. This is how I going to it too. And then yes, some of the time that we need to kind of convert the purchaser to actual purchasing time take a little bit longer. That's actually good. Like compared to a few years ago or 10 years ago, and then in the pre-con industry, honestly, I do not do any sales and marketing at all. Like I just assigning, right? Like and that's not good. Like honestly, like I really want people to understand why they purchased the condominium. Arguably, 10 years ago, you're a customer buying a pre-con. Do they really understand the builder? They don't.
No.
They just have a product boom.
Yeah.
Do they actually know that you are a preeminent team in Remax? They don't. Right. So I think we need to go back to basic. If we all need to justify the value, why they're buying. And arguably, this is one of the most important or most expensive investment they do. They need to take the time. It's a good thing. So we need to be able to bring the value. We talk about value a lot. Like, why do you trust that particular builder? Why do they need to trust you? Why do they need you to navigate for them to do it? So that I think we going back to normal. Well, way back when I first started, like, there was a reason that there was a sales and marketing time for a typical condo. It's 18 months. It's not 18 days. Right?
That's not just a signing. It's not crazy.
So I think it's a good reset. And then, however, the underlying fundamental of Toronto is good. Like the demand is always there. I don't really need to justify that. And supply, everybody knows
For sure.
it's not. And then there's X amount of immigrants coming in too. So the future is good. And we just needed to go and adjust back to the normal, to new normal, normal interest rate. Normal buying and selling process too. I think we're still good.
Can I wrap up with one harder question really quickly for the both of you?
Really?
Yeah, just a hard one to end off. So in this marketplace, finally, do you see the need for any incentive discounts, or how about like closing issues, having issues not being able to close because
Financing, right?
Financing, not being able to get a mortgage. That's the hard one I face from time to time. So
good. Excellent question. Now, I think going back to my earlier comment about going back to normal, that's also including the proper financing and the proper ability to understand your real ability to purchase. Like honestly, for the past 10 years, people don't. Like one of the challenges that you see run into lately, what happened is they over purchase. They need a condo,
That's right.
and then I want to buy 2, 3, 4 more, and without actually checking it too. And then for Tridel, we are quite proud, but you guys don't like us. We are the only developer who really going through a vigorous mortgage approval check. So fast forward to now, we as the largest condo builder in Canada, do I have any last minute assignment closing challenge? I'm happy to report that we are not. Because like I do remember some of our competitors, come buy from us, we do not check mortgage approval. We check mortgage approval for a reason. Now, honestly, selfishly, it's because our lender needed to making sure that our buyers qualify and really qualify. But for you as well, like you don't want to bring in the customer that they're not actually qualified to it too.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I think that is very important. Like we did it for a reason, and we also work with good banking partner like Bank of Montreal and all that too. They cap the rate, they give you a lot of goodies, and then get Bank of Montreal to come up and speak to you about on that too. So it's a whole process. It's a partnership, right? We need to go back to the normal again. Like say, this would be the expected interest rate, like the 0.25 interest rate way back. It's not right. Like it's not sustainable. And there is another issue. I'm not an economist, I'm not going to comment about it too, but like, just back to normal about the interest rate, normal buying process. You won't have the challenge because as I said, like the fundamentals of us, it's great because you have good demand. We cannot build fast enough. And then the normal process, we just need to accustom to. And then creating good habits, educating the purchaser, that's utmost important.
Yeah, if I can give more hands-on comments on it. Okay, like I said, okay, we are all licensed realtors, and I do believe, okay, one of the due diligence, okay, then when a client is retaining you to represent them is, okay, you're looking for the best interest, and you are looking for the best return of investments, okay, for their money being invested, right? Okay, so and then okay, we look at from another angle. Okay, why all the Tridel projects has been so successful? Okay, not big on top of the architecture. Okay, how beautiful it is, workmanship, and how we retain the value of that particular development is okay. We as a vendor, for example, okay, I have this building. Okay, total number of suites is 300. In order to maintain or in order to add on the value of this particular project, first of all, okay, we will refuse to build shoeboxes. Okay, so in every single Tridel building, you can see a very good combination of designs anywhere from a studio to a 3-bedroom, or maybe, okay, to a deluxe penthouse, okay, over 4,000 square feet. Okay, so the mixture of the purchasers are going to be the future residences. Okay, we do have rental investors. Okay, where tenants will move in, but we do have certain percentage of end users. Okay, that they are actually moving into the building. Okay, and enjoy the community. And we have our on-site property management service and everything. Okay, to make sure from day one and continuously, okay, the building will be sustainable and maintain their value, and also back to the finance point. A lot of realtors, so they always say, okay, oh, Chilli, I love Tridel, but I hate you. Because you always ask me for mortgage approval, and my clients doesn't like it.
From Schedule A bank.
Okay. Now, not really. Okay. When sometimes, okay. Oh, okay. I hate you because you asked me for mortgage approval. Now, please, okay, spend 2 minutes, okay, looking at my checklist. Basically, I'm just asking for a proof of finance.
Right.
All right. Okay. So, in order, okay, to make sure, okay, first of all, you help your client, okay, to look for something that it's at their comfy level. Right? So that means, okay, when you bring your clients into my 60, 80 young sales office and wanted to buy a pre-construction, which delivered to you in 4 years down the road, okay, you make sure your client will be able to close it at least at the at the current moment, right? So that is how we when it comes to the occupancy and final closing of every single Tridel project, even though it's a small building or a big complex, we don't really have a lot of problem at the closing time that people are panicking. They cannot get their mortgage, or they need to assign it right away.
So whether it's Schedule A, B, or whatever, you just need proof of finances, right?
So
that's what
Chilli,
you want.
So we have to bring all our qualified buyers, do our due diligence, make sure that they're okay. I know that Winson has a upcoming meeting, so we got to make sure that we're going to the next one. Are there any final things? Because I know we really appreciate your time, and thank you for coming onto the podcast. We're gonna wrap up. Are there any last comments?
Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, thank you for coming to our pod. For the listeners and viewers out there, if you like our content, please like and subscribe, share it. And thank you again for
it's an honor.
Look forward to having you
Thanks a
again.
lot. Thanks a lot.
Really,
Thank
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.